So now that I've shared with you where to get your materials, I've already walked you through my own experience with methodology, applied linguistics and didactics, and also sociolinguistics. Plus also the actual lessons that I covered in each one. I think now it's the right time to talk about the revision plan, all right? Now, here is what I did personally, and maybe it will work for you too. I started with methodology, okay? Why? Because it's that one course that almost always shows up, like it's everywhere, okay? You always find it. Most universities treat it as a secondary exam. I thought to myself then, since it is a secondary exam, so it's less important when it comes to grading compared to the primary exam, then let me just go through it, get it done with, and set it aside. And that's what I did. So I revised the whole thing, and again, I kind of set it aside. Okay? Then, once that was out of the way, I moved on to the course I felt most connected to. So it's literally that course that you are interested in the most or that you want to be specialized in. So for me personally, it was sociolinguistics because I was a language sciences and I was very much specialized in sociolinguistics. Now for you, that could be sociolinguistics also, or maybe applied linguistics, didactics, whatever you feel drawn to, that is. Start with that next, okay? Then you can focus on other courses that you may want to try. And for me personally, this was all about applied linguistics and didactics. For you, it can be the opposite. It can be sociolinguistics, okay? So it depends. But this is how I basically organized things for my own revision, all right? So for me, again, it went like this. It was methodology first, around 2 months earlier. And this is, by the way, the final revision phase, okay? So it was around 2 months prior to the contest. And then I've tackled sociolinguistics, which was around 1 month prior to the contest. And then applied linguistics, which was literally 15 days prior to the contest, okay? Now keep in mind again that this was my final revision phase. Now if you are still in the accumulation phase, then all of these don't matter because you have all the time in the world to go through things, okay? So the sooner you start, the better. And believe me, you just have to start because the hardest part is getting started. Once you do, things start clicking, it all becomes way more manageable and it feels good, okay? Alright, so now it's all about building a solid plan with clear long-term goals and short-term goals. So for me, I had both long-term goals and short-term goals, okay? So long-term goals helped me actually in seeing the bigger picture, and short-term goals kept me grounded and on track every single day. Okay, so let's go into this. When I say a long-term goal, I'm referring to your full revision outline. So let's say you are starting with methodology and the contest is in February and you are kicking off your revision, let's say in December, that is 2 months earlier, all right? Now to make this well-defined plan, you have to always work in accordance with your outline, okay? And when I say the outline of your revision, I'm here basically talking about the lessons that you wish to cover, okay? So again, let's say you are working with methodology. Let's say you have 20 lessons to cover and you've decided to tackle a lesson per day. That will take you basically 20 days. So in here, this is the long-term goal, is to actually revise methodology from the 1st of December to the 20th, all right? This is the long-term goal, all right? Is that I want to revise methodology from the 1st of December to the 20th of December, all right? Now to do that, you have to set daily plans with well-defined short-term goals. Now, to reach the daily plans, I would recommend that you start first on a weekly basis. So you can have something like this, a weekly to-do list for the month of December. You can set you can set one lesson per day, Let's say, for example, on Sunday you want to tackle paradigms, Monday types of research, Tuesday research approaches, Wednesday overview of the research process, Thursday defining the research problem, Friday literature review, and Saturday formulating hypotheses, etc., etc. And then you can have a note at the end of the week, 7 out of 20 covered. Okay, this is so important. Now, to do this and to actually be able to tackle a certain lesson per day, you have first to set a well-defined duration. For me personally, it was around 4 to 6 hours per day. Okay, and you can do them all at once or split them into chunks. I mean, have small intervals in between. It's all up to you. And that will take us to actually set in a regular slot in your daily routine. Let's say, I don't know, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., that's my revision slot. Okay, so and you must be consistent. Every single day from 2 to 6, you will be revising. All right? And again, regarding the courses here, you might be thinking one lesson per day, that's not much. However, when we take a look at this, I mean, here, when we say paradigms, believe me, under paradigms, you will find a lot to tackle. Same thing when it comes to literature review or to the defining the research problem or to formulating hypotheses, or once you tackle also data collection methods, data analysis, a lot to be said, honestly speaking. So this is why I said the sooner you start, the better, because if you start early, you will have time to tackle a lesson per day. If not, you will be, let's say, for instance, obliged to tackle 2 lessons per day, etc., etc. This is why I always say the sooner, the better, okay? Anyways, now let's take a look at making summaries. These are some tips that I wanted to share with you, things that worked for me and that I think will work for you too. First of all, try using your own previous summaries if available. This is what I did. In methodology, for instance, I was using my previous summaries that I used to revise for my exams when I was a master's student, okay? So you can always go through that and, go through them and use them. If not, you can use AI in going through PDFs and Words, especially if they are huge. Remember when I shared with you how I found my materials? Believe me, sometimes I used to find PDFs or even Word docs that were, more than 50 or 60 pages long, some were even 100, 200 pages long, so they were huge. When it comes to the final revision phase, believe me, you don't have time to go through that all. So what I did was actually using AI, namely ChatGPT, to go through them. So what I used to do is copying and pasting, I would say, lessons per lesson. Let's say paradigms, then I will take paradigms and I will copy paste it and ask ChatGPT to give me the summary of it. Um, to summarize it for me, and I used to ask him to do it in dashes because that's what I like. You can ask whatever you want from ChatGPT and it will definitely help you. For me, it was very helpful. And whenever I felt like I needed more explanation, let's say, for instance, examples, etc., I would ask ChatGPT to provide me with examples. So it was really helpful. It was my study companion or my revision companion. You can use it as well. It's so good to go through long PDFs in a very short amount of time and with much less efforts. So you can use that too. It's a very good tip, okay? Otherwise, if you are still in your accumulation phase, if you have time to go through them, I advise you to go through them and to read them. It's always good to read, and because if you want to write, you have to read. That will basically help you shape your own or sharpen your own writing style, etc. Another thing is that I advise you to actually write by hand. Now, the reason why I do this, or the reason why I did this, is to work more on my spelling. Um, I wanted to, making sure that my spelling is correct. So, this is why I wanted to do that. Also, there is a muscle memory that, in a way, helps in internalizing concepts. So this is why I always advise you to write by hand, okay? For me personally, again, I used diagrams. I'm a diagram girl. I just love diagrams. I love how they simplify things. It's more like mind mapping. It's how things are internalized in my brain. Now, if you are like me, then diagrams are going to be amazing. And you can find all of my summaries at Dhul Language and Research Community on Facebook. And you can take a look at my own diagrams. You can even use them to revise, okay? And the last thing that I would say is to actually enjoy it. Try to enjoy going through all of that, try to enjoy your time, try to create a beautiful atmosphere for yourselves. I don't know if you want to go on Pinterest, you can find many weekly to-do lists, even daily to-do lists that this will make things more fun. You can set an alarm or a clock next to you to know exactly, to be proud of the time that you've spent studying. You will feel productive. You will feel very productive, honestly speaking. I wish this helps, and see you in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe.